Hey, Matcha. What's the tea? Charli D'Amelio gets dragged on national TV, James Charles gets in trouble again, and Trisha thinks Dixie has an intellectual disability. As you may remember, the D'Amelio sisters were recently under fire for their poor table manners in a video featuring James Charles and their chef, Erin May. Charli received the most backlash and lost over 1 million followers overnight, hitting 98 million followers. If you're unfamiliar with the story, check out our previous video about it. The D'Amelio sisters have since cleared up the assumptions about their behavior, and Charli regained her lost followers and hit a new milestone of 100 million followers on November 22nd. Dixie congratulated her sister with an old video of the two dancing to Chris Yude's I Did It. In the description of the video, Dixie said, "Congratulations on 100 million, Charli D'Amelio. I love you and I'm so proud." You may remember Trisha Paytas inserting herself into the drama. Well, YouTuber Larray made it clear he was not on her side. Good morning to everyone except Trisha Paytas. On November 21st, Charli shared a photo showing off that she and Dixie are still on good terms with Chef Erin. James Charles is also seen holding what seems to be a chicken strip or a nugget, possibly poking fun at the Dino Nugget drama. Then Dixie addressed her recent controversy. Dixie recently posted and deleted a video dancing to an uncensored audio clip of Trisha saying a racial slur. Dixie has received backlash for not censoring the audio and smiling while dancing to the offensive audio. A popular question being asked was, why did you delete the other video with you dancing to Trisha's audio knowing it was come out as offensive? Dixie responded, "That was never my intention to offend anyone, and once I realized how tone deaf I was being, I deleted it, and I am very sorry to anyone I offended." But many people continued to question Dixie's behavior. I just found it weird how Dixie was trying to call out Trisha for saying the when she's friends with many people who have said it before. Let's not act like their friends don't say it. Girl, didn't you say you deleted it because your point was proven though? For context, the video description for Dixie's controversial dance was, "I made my point, it's done, it's over, and Charli is a queen, good night." James Charles also added to the fire by commenting on Dixie's video, "Get her." Dixie later deleted the video and wrote, "I deleted the video because my point that I was trying to make was proven, and I don't need to promote a racist sound." Then, on November 23rd, TV host Wendy Williams spoke about the D'Amelio family drama on her talk show. Wendy's guest host, Geordie Litt McGraw, explained the drama to Wendy, but she was not well informed about the D'Amelio sisters. Geordie said, "I think Charli's the rich one now. I think Dixie kind of just goes along for the ride. I mean, Charli's 16 years old and it's a younger sister, so I can't imagine she's in school, I would assume." However, according to Distractify and Pop Buzz, Charli is attending a private school despite her career as a TikTok star. Back to the story. Wendy questioned the D'Amelio parents for not stepping in during the dinner. "I can't believe her parents though. I mean, her mother was sitting right next to her, her father sitting right next to the other daughter." Then Wendy and Geordie criticized Charli's tearful Instagram Live where she apologized and spoke about hateful comments.
I don't see any tears. I don't feel sorry for her.
I was gonna ask, do you think this backlash is warranted?
Yes. I mean, who doesn't get backlash?
When Geordie said Charli should probably be more grateful for her fans, Wendy sarcastically disagreed.
Now, you don't stay ungrateful and you collect those checks.
Many people were not happy with Wendy speaking about the drama. Why is Wendy talking? She's grown as Bye. You don't see any tears? Are you blind? Look at her eyes. You clearly can see that she cried for hours. But that's not all Wendy had to say. Wendy claims TikTokers and their fans live for drama. I just wanted to say she probably has those millions of people who left her, they're back, plus even more people are back or they're brand new people to follow her. Because the drama, like these TikTokers, these children these days who are, you know, like their age, they live for the drama. They live to prove them wrong. Like if she says, you know, buy this lipstick, they'll buy the lipstick just to try to prove her wrong, you know? People called out Wendy for being hypocritical. Isn't her show only about drama? LMAO, bye. She literally has a talk show that's based around drama. Others felt Wendy didn't know the full story behind the drama. The lack of research is astonishing. Charli was crying because she was getting not because she was sad losing followers. Do they have nothing to talk about besides harassing a 16-year-old? The next day, on November 24th, Dixie and Trisha spoke up. Dixie spoke about dancing to Trisha's controversial sound clip. I agree, and I will never act like this didn't happen. Anger in a moment controlled my feelings on protecting my sister, but I did not think about the feelings of so many others. I also did not realize how tone-deaf I was being until I sat back and watched a video that I posted. People were still not happy with Dixie's explanation. Why didn't she dance to Chase saying the N-word? She's just making excuses, lol. This ain't an apology. Trisha also had a lot to say on the Frenemy series on the H3 podcast. Ethan and Trisha said the last two words of James's tweet, "feels familiar," made James sound like the victim. I feel like his tweet was fine. I feel like these are all good points that I agree with, but the "feels familiar" part is like, oh, okay. Okay, victim. Just perpetual victim. Ethan and Trisha also spoke about the Charli was receiving. They both said everyone gets and that these messages were probably coming from children. If someone's like taking pictures of your house, that's like one thing. But like saying 9-year-olds are gonna you, like, that's the internet now. Trisha called James a narcissist for inserting himself into the drama after both the D'Amelio sisters and Trisha apologized. We're not diagnosing him, but that's what a narcissist does. Who inserts themselves into drama after she's apologized? I apologized, people are getting over it. But no, this is ultimate deflection, narcissist. Ethan and Trisha also said they felt James is using Charli to promote his merch. Trisha compared it to James and Tati's past relationship. He's a user. It's the same way Tati was using him and he's using her, Charli. Ethan and Trisha also showed the sisters' campaign photo and said Charli is the center of attention in the photo. Trisha also addressed viewers calling her hypocritical for collabing with child star JoJo Siwa in the past. Trisha explained her multiple videos with JoJo were all filmed in one day, and she never hung out with JoJo again after that one video because she realized it was wrong. Trisha explained, "When I collabed with JoJo, her parents weren't home and I was like, what the f?" I felt so weird immediately. David and Jason came over, her parents still weren't home, and I think at the time, especially during this time, I was just like getting followers and stuff. And you don't think it's a big deal until you're in it. When Ethan asked why Trisha couldn't give James the benefit of the doubt, Trisha said she only hung out with JoJo once, while James continues to hang out with Charli multiple times. To mentor or even have in a video, like let's say we have a minor on our podcast and their parents are here, whatever, but to hang out with them consistently, whether it's using them for views, whatever, it's just gross to me. She's 16, it's a very big age gap, and you're not developed at that age, you're just not mentally there. Of course, she's already corrupted. Trisha said she's so against adults hanging out with children because adults took advantage of her in her childhood in inappropriate ways. I had issues when I was a kid, obviously, with adults, young adults, like that me up, you know, and molested me, and not just straight guys and not just males. So I have a really deep-rooted sense of like trauma from this. I want people to know why I'm so adamant about this because it f***ed me up in such a way that I can't even explain. Then Trisha spoke about James's TikTok video calling her out. Trisha said she never called James a and was shocked he even brought up the word. Trisha said, "Don't lie on me. Like, there's so much you can say about me. I've never once said is also very different from." Then Ethan chimed in and said it may have been a subconscious thought in James's mind. Trisha joked and said maybe James is prepping Charli to be his show pony in his sister's campaign. Trisha also called out James for listing all the controversial things she has said, implying he's hypocritical because he has a similar past. Trisha showed this TikTok, which highlights all the racist and insensitive posts James has made in his past.
I am so sick of y'all acting like James Charles ended Trisha because supposedly she's racist and he's not, so I came through with receipts. Let's go. So a few years ago, James was canceled for saying all Africa has Ebola and also making this racist comment that like they're going to Africa and he and his friends are going to get Ebola. I don't know if you guys remember Ebola, but there was a lot of racism toward African Americans at the time because of it, like treating them like they were dirty and diseased, and his tweet just added to that. And then he made this comment about how some stupid Indian man didn't have his size at the boardwalk. He was a chubby black woman who's singing in a barbershop style a cappella group, which is such a racist stereotype. Posted this picture shaming a black woman for her hairstyle, taking a picture of her in public and posting it on his feed to shame her. He made a post calling slow walkers annoying, and he was called out for being ableist because some people have disabilities that make them walk slow, and he called it the most annoying tweet of the century. He also got in trouble for calling his Mexican friend his slave. So don't tell me that James ended Trisha because he talked fast in a video and he has the same pattern of consistent racist behavior as Trisha did.
James actually responded to the original video and said, "I was 13 for half of these and 17 for the other half. And although they were ignorant, none of them were posted with malice and I've taken accountability 100 times." Trisha tweeted about James's response. And yet he still can't say, "I'm sorry, surprise, surprise." Couldn't care less about Charli and her racist leech of a sister. Hope they succeed at dancing or whatever they do. But James, he's a piece of and his parents should be ashamed. Never apologizes, always an excuse. He's always the victim. Impressive. YouTuber Def Noodles also reminded us that James Charles has recently made some racial comments. Earlier this year, James Charles attacked Alicia Keys for creating a beauty line. However, he didn't comment on Charli D'Amelio, Addison Rae, or Selena Gomez doing the same. Earlier today, James Charles told African-American TikToker to not have kids. For context, on November 21st, TikToker Hannah Lee Yoder, a person of color, got backlash from James for saying she would not allow her son to wear a dress. James wrote, "Don't have children, please." Back to Def Noodles' post. He asked how people saw James's action towards Hannah Lee, and 74% of people replied, "Racist microaggressions." Back to Trisha and Ethan's podcast. Trisha criticized James for his response. "My thing keeps being brought up, and like I said sorry, I say sorry." He's like, "I'll take accountability, but it wasn't under malice, but I was 17. It's like, that's not accountability if you make excuses. The fact that he can't say I'm sorry and go on TikTok the way he called me out and tell his people like, "Hey, this is up." Then, Trisha and Ethan spoke about Dixie dancing to Trisha saying a racial slur. Ethan said Dixie used the sound clip as a low blow to get back at Trisha. Trisha disagreed and called Dixie the R word. It's not a low blow. That's like, not to be mean, I don't know. I'll probably get canceled for saying that, but there is something a little off with her, right? I think there's an actual slowness there. Ethan interrupted Trisha and explained the R word is an offensive and derogatory term that you're not supposed to say. Trisha quickly apologized.
"I apologize.
Yeah.
Please don't cancel
Well,
me. I'm
it's
sorry."
just ironic.
Then Ethan and Trisha discussed Jeffree Star. They reacted to Jeffree Star's Instagram story calling out his ex-friends to keep his name out of their mouths. While most people believe it's about James, Trisha said it may be about her, admitting she is no longer friends with Jeffree. My theory? I think it's me, cause he's saying if you were friends but not anymore. Also during the podcast, Trisha admitted that she spoke about Charli and James for views, but explained she was actually outraged about James. When Charli mentioned me, I was like, what the? Kinda like a fever dream. I was like, wow, a 100 million follower girl is like calling me out. Oh my god. This is the most relevant I've been in a while too. I love it. This is how I thrive, feeding the troll. The outrage didn't kick in until James came in. However, Trisha said her videos were not driven by how much money she made from the videos. Rather, she felt the need to explain her side. People had mixed reactions towards the podcast. This podcast has been such an eye-opener to the way Trisha operates. She is way more self-aware than I previously thought. Trisha's trolling just bringing out the worst in all these influencers cause they taking her serious. Absolute power move. The fact that she still doesn't see the bigger picture. Oh my god, you're 32 going hard on teens and young adults. Public figures or not, grow up. Bruh, shut up with the Charli versus Trish when you're the only one taking part in the argument. Overall, it seems Charli and Dixie are doing much better now. And it seems Trisha is just talking about the drama for views. James, on the other hand, continues to get into drama and his controversial past is also coming back to light. What do you think of James's recent actions? Do you agree with Trisha's and Ethan's points? Wow, Matcha, that was a lot. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below.